So we'll start with inventory controls and we'll see how serial number can be generated for the items. The concept is serial numbering, or you can call as serial controls. How we can maintain unique number for items. Okay, you have a MacBook, say iPhone. How we can maintain the unique numbering for the items. How we can maintain unique numbering for items? Anyone please?
Assignment of alphanumeric information.
Yeah, Deepak or Kalyan?
Yeah. Assigning alphanumeric information for individual unit of an item.
My question is how to set unique identification number for item.
First, we have to enable the control for the item in item attribute.
Anyone please?
Serial number, enabling serial control.
Any other? Fine, no issues. So we don't need to think about serial control, right? We are talking about item. If you want to maintain the unique numbering for the item, already we completed that setup and we generated item numbering for item. At item class level, we specified the numbering, right? Item class level, you have a different options. You want to go with the user defined, or you want to generate very sequence and numbering. Those specifications we have to provide at item class level. By using that item class, when you create item, system creates unique number for each item. By using the same item class, if you are going to create 100 items, for each item it generates unique number. That's all about unique number for item. Now we are not talking about unique number for item. In case of serial control, take MacBook. MacBook will have some unique number as per item definition. When you define the MacBook, system generates unique number for item. Now you got 100 MacBooks. You got 100 MacBooks. For 100 MacBooks, how you are going to identify? You got 100 MacBooks. For each unit of quantity, if you want to identify with a separate number, okay, say for example, you have a MacBook number, maybe this may be the MacBook item number. Now you got 100 MacBooks into your inventory. How to identify, how to set unique identification for each unit of quantity related to specific item, that you can deal with the serial number or serial control. You got 100 MacBooks, okay, 100 MacBooks. So for 100 MacBooks, for each MacBook you want to maintain unique identification number. So I'll just go with a simple example. You got 10 MacBooks into inventory. For each unit you have to maintain the separate numbering. Maybe that numbering, maybe you can give, you got 10, sorry, say okay, all are MacBooks only. Fine, all are MacBooks. This is the actual item. Rest what we are addressing, those are the quantities. We got 10 MacBooks or 100 MacBooks. For each MacBook, the unit of quantity which you are going to maintain within the inventory, you want to maintain the separate numbering for those quantities. That you can achieve by using the serial numbering. Okay, serial numbering. For each item, you can have unique numbering that you can set at item class level. Based on the item class, whenever you create the item, for specific item, system creates item number. We are not talking about item number. For the specific items, we are going to maintain the stock on hand quantity. For each on hand quantity, for each unit, how much quantity you are going to maintain for each unit. If you want to set separate numbering, that we can achieve by using serial numbering. Any question here to understand this point, please? Fine. So item number is different. For the item, what are the quantity we maintain for each unit of item, what are the numbering we provide, that is totally different. That now if you are going to deal with these items, we know very well the items we create by using the item master inventory. Those items can be associated with n number of child organizations, which are real inventory organizations. So here, if you look at this numbering I followed this sequence. How you want to manage that numbering if you are going to manage the same item in different inventory organizations? Let's take simple example here. Say we have organization 1 and organization 2, inventory organization 1, inventory organization 2, and 3 and 4. We have 4 inventory organizations. We have item called as MacBook. So this MacBook stock you are going to maintain within different inventory organizations. So this you assign to organization 1. The same you assign to other inventory organizations also. So you assign to 3. Okay, totally depends on the client business. So they assign to organization 4, but they are not going to maintain any stock within the organization 2. You take any example. The simple point here is the same item which is created in item master. The item which is created within the item master inventory, that you can assign to multiple inventory organizations. Okay, done. Now if you want to set the serial numbering, for the quantity which you are going to maintain for this item in the different inventory organizations, how to set, and that numbering you want to maintain unique within or across organizations or within the item itself. That organization has to take the decision. Now before you go and set up the sequence number generation for any item, you have to look at what level the unique numbering the organization want to maintain. Okay, that is a very important point which you have to finalize. When you talk about that unique numbering generation, we have a different options. When you go and set this sequential numbering for items, you have to look at different options. So here, as a part of this product, we have basically 4 options. When you look at those 4 options, those you can find as, say, unique within the inventory. So within inventory items. Okay, the first option is unique within the inventory items. Okay, unique within the inventory items. The numbering what you are going to maintain, you can maintain within the inventory items as a unique number. We'll see, just we'll go detail level with these options. Otherwise, we may choose the option called as unique within the organization. Unique within inventory organization, or call as organization. Or we may set unique numbering across the organizations. And we have one more option which we call as unique within model and inventory items. Okay, so these are the different options we have to set unique numbering for the item quantities which you are going to maintain within or across the inventory organizations. This is, we can say, serial number uniqueness. Okay, you can decide how the serial number uniqueness you can maintain, that you can specify by using these options. Fine. The first point is within inventory items, the uniqueness. So you are going to maintain this. This is the item. For the quantity, you are going to maintain this numbering. This numbering you want to maintain how within the inventory organization. You can just associate the same items across the different inventory organizations, and in the different inventory organizations will maintain different quantities for the same item. But when you talk about numbering, how you want to manage, the first one is unique within the inventory items. That means here you can set the different serial number for each item. Okay, each item, that I mean, say for example, item I am going to create. For that, I'll set some numbering. That numbering I want to maintain uniqueness. And if I'm going to create one more item, for that item also, if I'm going to use the serial numbering, I don't want to use it. So within the inventory item means irrespective of inventory organization. I'll create one item. Take the same example. I'll create one item called as MacBook. For MacBook, if I'm going to set some different serial numbering, the same number I don't want to use for iPhone. Okay, the numbering whatever I'm going to set for one item, I don't want to use for different items. So that we call as unique within the inventory organization. Means for one item, whatever the sequence number or the serial number you are going to use, the same serial number we don't want to use for any other items. Okay, other items. Just let me write that simple point here. Okay, that means we are going to maintain different serial numbers for each item. Different serial number for each item. Okay, each item. For each item, whatever you create, for those items, for those item related quantities, whatever the serial number you are going to create, that you want to maintain uniqueness. See, that is not the item you may use in the same one inventory organizations or multiple inventory organizations, doesn't matter. If item is different, for that item you have to maintain the separate numbering. That could be within inventory organization or across the organization. So one item, that item you can assign to multiple inventory organizations also. So that's how you can manage. And here one more point to understand when you are going with this option. So unique within the inventory items. I'll take simple example here. we have item X and we have item Y. For item X, I'm specifying the number should start from 1001 or 10,001. Okay, with item X, if you are going to maintain the stock for each unit, if you want to set the numbering, this is how I'm choosing. And for item Y, I cannot use if I set the option called as unique within the inventory items. For this, I have to go with a different numbering. So here I may go with okay 20,001. This is a serial number I want to start for item Y. So this is all about assignment. We can assign. So you'll get 5 quantity for X. So system will generate 10,001, 10,002, 3, 4, 5. You will get 10 quantity for item Y. So system will generate the numbering 20,001, 2, 3 up to 10. Fine. Now I'll receive an item. Okay. Now I will receive an item. When I am going to receive the item, I am going to receive the item called as G. So this is assignment, but we are receiving one item. When we are receiving that item, for the items which we are receiving, that can have a same number, any one of this number. Okay. Say for example, for item X, you have a lot of quantity and you assign this numbering from 10,001. When we are going to receive an item which is a different item, so that item, receiving item, can have the same serial number also. That is possible if you go with this option. Okay. Uniqueness within the inventory items means when we are going to assign the item numbering for different items, you cannot duplicate the serial numbering, but the item number in the sense here, every time we are referring item number, reality that is not item number, the quantity related number, the item quantity related number instead of quantity, just we are using the term called as item number. So reality item number is different and the serial number is different. Item number, when you define the master item, we assign that item number. With the same item, when you are going to maintain the quantity, we associate with the number that is serial number. So here item number means serial number. That's what we have to remember. So if you go with the first option, what happens? The uniqueness you can maintain for inventory items irrespective of where that item quantities you are going to maintain. You have item called as X and Y. For X, if you may set this number, then system take that numbering, the 1,000, 10,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's how it will just go on. In the same way, this item Y also, the same sequence it will run. You are using this sequence, but if you are going to receive the item, the different item can have the same numbering which you assign for the other items. This is related to assignment. You will be assigning, but when you are receiving item, the receiving time, if you want to enter the same number which sequence already you are using for existing item, that is allowed. But assignment point of, if you are going to define that assignment, it is not possible. Okay. So that is the meaning of uniqueness within the inventory items. Fine. We'll go with the different options and we'll understand how it works. Fine. Uniqueness within the organization. Okay, uniqueness within the organization. So I'm going to maintain this item in the organization 1. MacBook and iPhone. For MacBook related items, I want to set the numbering for from 1001, and for the same MacBook in the organization 2 also I can use the same sequence, organization 3 also I can use the same sequence. Wherever I want to use, I can use it. But within the same organization, I used serial number called as 1001 that we cannot use. If you don't want to use, you can use the unique within the organization. That means within the organization, the number should not be repeated whatever the number you are using for one item. That means same 1001 you should not use for the same item or different item. For this, if you want to use the numbering, you have to go with a different numbering. Okay, so within the inventory organization, you want to maintain the uniqueness. We don't bother about what numbering other inventory organizations are following for the same item quantities. So if this is a requirement, we can go with the unique within the inventory organization. Unique within the inventory organization. Okay, the meaning of unique within the organization means it's all about maintaining the different items, different serial numbers for each item within the inventory organization. Okay, different serial number for each item within inventory organization, not across the inventory organization. That means same serial number, instead of writing serial number I am writing SN. Same serial number can be used in different inventory. Okay, what are the serial number we are using for same item or say specific item, say MacBook, what are the serial number you are going to use? The inventory organization 1, you want to use the serial number from 1001. You'll use 1002, 3, 4, 5 depending on the quantity. The same numbering if you want to use, if you want to implement that kind of serial number logic within your organization, we have to go with the option called as unique within the organization. Okay, by choosing unique within the organization, you'll be able to use the same numbers in the different inventory organization. Unique across organizations. Unique across organization means if I use for MacBook item, if I use the number called as 1001, okay, 1001, system should not allow us to use the same number in any one of the inventory organization. If in the organization 3, if I want to use this serial number, here it should be different. Okay, it should be different. Here also you have to follow the different numbering. So across our inventory organizations, you have to maintain the unique numbering. That is similar to this, right? What is the difference? What is the difference if you say unique within the inventory items and unique across the organization? If you say set unique across the organization rule for our serial number generation uniqueness, what system will do is it won't allow us to use the same number which is already being used in the different inventory organization. Okay, so how these two are different? The same point we discussed for unique within the inventory organization and unique across the organization. When we talk about unique within the inventory organization, yes, okay, here we take a simple example, two items. If you use the item for item X, if you use this number, okay, that you cannot use for item Y, you have to go with the separate numbering. But if you are going to receive different item what are the serial number already used for existing item that can be used at the time of receiving, that can be duplicated. But generation point of assignment point of view, we cannot assign. Okay, you have many items. When you are going to set that numbering, it won't allow you. But when you are receiving the item, at the time of receiving the item, if you want to duplicate the number, that you can do. Generation is not possible. Receiving time, if you want to duplicate, you can do it, but that is not possible in the unique across the organization. Not only assignment, number assignment, even if you are going to receive the item also, for receiving items also, what are the serial number you enter, system will validate and it won't allow. Okay, only the difference is here and here same uniqueness across or within the organization, but here receiving time, if you are going to enter some number, it won't cross verify with the existing serial numbers what you have in the system, which you created by assigning that numbering. But here, not only what are the numbers you are assigning to the quantities, even when we are receiving some quantity, what are the number you are trying to enter, that also should be unique. And the other option, it's a more related to the manufacturing items. Okay, so it's all about the unique within the model and inventory item. We know just it's a model means the CTO model, configure to order, when you are creating the BOM item, bill of material items. So for the BOM item and the inventory items, and this is the inventory item already discussed. With this combination also, if you want to set serial number uniqueness, you can set it up. Okay, so this is how we can set the serial number uniqueness as per the requirement. As per the requirement, it's all about how they want to go with unique numbering. They want to go unique numbering across the organizations, or they need unique numbering within the organization, or they need the uniqueness just item level in the sense that is the first point, irrespective of organizations, or if they are going to use manufacturing, if they are into manufacturing process also, when they are dealing with this direct inventory items, and based on the inventory items will create the BOM, right, bill of material and all. For the what do we call CTO model, CTO items, configure to order items, for the combination of this, when you are going to have this combination also, if you want to maintain the uniqueness, that also can be implemented by using this serial number uniqueness functionality. Any question here to understand the serial number uniqueness or the different options whatever we discussed, please?
Hi, Lakshmi, can you explain unique within model? I think I got confused somewhere in that.
See, within the model means this is a CTA item, CTA model. Say, take simple example, you are going to assemble, okay, you are going to assemble laptop. Okay, we'll have a many sub items, right? You have some idea about the BOM, right? Bill of material.
Yeah. Sub-assemblies, like within assembly, let's say Dell, let's take Dell, right? Within Dell, we have multiple options.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So, or like just the spare parts and all you can maintain within the inventory as inventory items, and with the by grouping the multiple spare parts, and you may create the model as per BOM. So what are the say you have a mouse, that is inventory item, it will have some numbering, the same numbering for the, by using that mouse you are going to create one bill, mouse and many other spare parts you are using, and you are creating one model. Okay, when you are creating the model, one bill of material. So what are the spare part, what are the number you have, that number you don't want to repeat for this CTO items also. Okay, that means by grouping which numbers you are creating the bill, whatever the serial number those items has, that same serial number you don't want to use, even if you are going to create the BOM related definition, bill of material.
Okay, but then other model, like where I'm not using that the serial number within, let's say, sub assemblies, there I can use those serial numbers, right? The other model item if I'm creating
Yes, yes,
using the
yes.
same
Other
inventory.
model, yes, yes. Okay, for CTO model and all, already the number is exist. That means in the CTO model, when you are when you are defining that BOM bill of material, you have to consider this number is used for any specific item or not. That also you will consider. Otherwise, the inventory item serial numbering is different, and for this model, whatever the number you assign, you don't bother about whether that is existed for the individual items. Okay. If you want to ignore
Okay.
serial number for individual items, anyway, this is a model definition. So BOM definition. For this, I can use the existing number. In that case, you don't go with this option. The other cases, all whatever you discuss, the same rule is applicable. But if you want to maintain uniqueness across this inventory items as well as this CTO model and all, definitely you can set this option. System won't allow you to use the same unique, same serial number which is already being used for so and so inventory item again in the model definition. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And
I'll
which
just
is the
address
best
this
practice?
point.
Like, usually, like,
No,
which
one
one
second.
is used
I'll
across
just
industry?
address this point when we are working on this BOM application. Okay,
Okay.
fine. We'll be just working on the basic functionality and the process flow on the BOM and week also as a part of this core SCM. So at that time, just
Okay.
want to see like there I'll be addressing. This is a point to understand as of now. Okay.
Okay. So I just have one question, one more question, Lakshman. So what is best practice like? That usually in industry, which option is frequently used out of these four options?
If there you see that we cannot say that completely depending on the organization and what items they are using. So simple example, okay, I can
Mm-hmm.
say the organization is dealing with only specific item, so in that case they may go with unique across organization. Okay,
Okay.
unique across organization, that means wherever they maintain the quantity they want to go with a unique numbering, or else material which they are dealing, that is totally different from one inventory to another inventory. That means organization 1 is dealing with one product, organization 2 is dealing with one product, organization 3 is dealing with a different product. In that case, product itself is different, they can go with a different unique numbering organization wise. Okay, or else they are dealing with
Okay.
multiple items, definitely they can plan for different serial number for item wise each item. Okay, irrespective of, it's even they may deal with n number of items, they may go with a single item, maybe for each organization one different or a different item, doesn't matter how they want to execute that number generation, they can take the decision by depending on different parameters how they want to, how they prefer to have that unique numbering for those items. Okay, so you cannot address with the specific with a specific parameter. So when it comes to organization, they'll take the decision how they want to maintain. Some companies you could see, so we maintain the unique numbering for the items across the organization, or else some organizations, some companies, you could say, okay, number that would be fine if you can maintain unique identification number for the specific organization, because the items which we deal with one organization, that again we are not going to address with another organization, there won't be any scenarios. Totally depends. But only here what we are trying to do is we are trying to understand what is the functionality behind the different options. So when you talk to the client, we'll be addressing in terms of the client wants to maintain the serial number. It's not mandatory again. They have to, every client will use serial number, right? Wherever that serial number logic is required, they want to go with a unique identification for each and every number, then only they will go with a serial number. Without the serial number, you will be able to manage your inventory. It's all about which item, what is the importance of maintaining the unique numbering for the item. Again, as per their organization process, how they deal with the items, how they treat with the items, how that further process. Say simple example, you are dealing with items and you are going to use the serial number which can be used for guarantee or warranty. Okay, so you just you may sell the product, you may sell the product anywhere. Okay, anywhere. That product should have some serial number, some unique serial number identification. You want to maintain the unique number identification, so irrespective of where you are selling the product. In that case, you may go with across organizations, but you want to address with that serial number in which geography the product is being sold. Based on the geography, you may have some different unique numbering. In that case, geography you may address with the different inventory organizations. In that case, you may set uniqueness within the inventory organization. It totally depends. Okay, so depending on with which product client is dealing, okay, how they are going with some their internal policies, okay, what purpose they are going to maintain that serial number. Based on that, you can just decide. So you are purchasing iPhone. When you look at that iPhone, you can find the serial number. So this Apple company want to have a tracking which items they want to track, that items they want to track for which iPhones coming to service centers which got some warranty or guarantee. Say warranty, they want to track for specific say for their Dallas business operations. In the Dallas inventory organization, they want to set separate serial number. For Austin, they want to set separate serial number, so that they'll be able to have a tracking. So in which city, what are the phones they sold, so which, because of that warranty, how many just got tracked in their service centers. So it's all about their how they want to have further internal just some tracking or some other purposes. Accordingly, they can take decision and they can do it. Okay, so just we have to understand the system point of view or based on their business. If they want to have a tracking uniqueness across or within with the combination, so what are the different options we have to understand. These are the points to understand about serial number uniqueness. If any organization is going to use, we know very well, like when we talk to the client, we explain these are the options we have. First of all, we know we ask the client, so how you want to maintain the uniqueness, they'll be talking about it. Definitely that we can match with any one of these options which are available, since Oracle so designed and developed this functionality to meet global requirements or general practices which you see in the business. Or say when I talk about very specific with this functionality, their inventory management and stock maintenance and this number generations, etc. So any questions here, please? Fine. So that's all about it. We cannot say this is for so and so industry, this is for so and so kind of case and all. So this anyone they can use. It totally depends on how they are planning to manage serial number. Done. So other point is, yeah, seems to somebody's unmuted. Any question?
Yeah, Lakshman, if you say item X is 10,001 starts from, if it completes overall total numbers, then it mixed with the 20,001, right?
So
item Y.
I just taken that example to differentiate. Okay, I'll say best example I'll take, that is serial number. Even I can go with the same, but starts with a B, or else X and Y. Right now, there won't be any conflict, right?
Yeah.
Unique. Just I taken for example. If you analyze, yes, you are right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Fine. Done. Now nowhere those two numbers will be same, right? Because prefix always differentiate. Done.
Got it.
Yeah. Tomorrow, if you take the same example, So you are going to receive the item G, and for item G can have number called as this, but it is accepted in case of first option. In case of across the organization, this is also not accepted. Even item is G, this number is used for item X, so cannot be used. Done. So any other questions here, please? Fine, no. Okay. So now done. We can take the decision when this serial number need to be generated. Okay, when the serial number can be generated. So what sort of uniqueness, what level uniqueness you want to set, whether inventory items level or within the organization, with the organization level or across the organization or with this combination. Okay, done. That we discussed. Hope that is clear to everyone. Any questions, please? Okay, once you're done with that, the next point we have to understand. So what is the generation point? At what point of time the serial number need to be generated? Say serial number generation. When I talk about serial number generation, so you can generate the predefined serial numbers. You can just generate and you can keep ready, and you got 10 quantity. For each quantity you can assign specific number from the predefined numbers. Okay, let me write here so that we can talk and we can understand more detail level. If you have any questions, yes, we'll see. The one option is predefined. Predefined serial number. Predefined serial numbers, that means just we'll define the serial numbers before we receive the items or before we deal with item quantities. Whenever you have so and so item, for each item wherever you want to use the serial number, you will predefine. We'll see in the system how to generate and all. You don't want to generate the serial number before you just deal with the quantities. So in that case we have a different options. One option is, so you can generate at the time of receiving. Okay, that we call as dynamic entry. Say dynamic number generation at receipt. Receipt means inventory receipt. Just call it as receipt, nothing wrong. Okay, dynamic number generation at receipt, inventory receipt. When you are creating the receipt, when you are receiving the material, you want to set the serial number. You don't want to predefine. And or else, this is all about when you are receiving. You are doing the sales and all. In that case, so you are not just predefining, or you are not setting the serial number generation when you are receiving. So you are selling to the customer, you are going to pick the material. At the time of picking point, you may want to enter the number generation. Say entry at inventory picking. You are going to pick the material. Whenever you get orders from the customer, you have to perform the picking time. You don't want to decide on the serial number allocation or assignment at the time of picking. You want to just do this at sales order creation itself. Also, let me go in this sequence. So first let me write entry at sales order. Sales order time itself, you can just assign the serial number for the specific item quantities which you are dealing, or else you don't want to do at the moment you create the sales order. So the event called as picking, you want to assign the numbering. Okay, so if not, just along with the sales order, you have a different options also. When you are going to deal with the manufacturing and all, some like say work order issue. when you are just doing the task called as work order issues, at the time you can allocate the serial number for that item quantities, for how much quantity you are issuing for that based on the work order. For those quantities you may allocate that numbering based on this event, or else when you are performing the transfer orders. So these are the different cases where you can allocate the serial number. So when you look at these cases, so which one we use, definitely this they have to look at the scenario how they are dealing. Say predefined serial number. What are the scenario organizations may use predefined serial number? If they are, say, manufacturing the products, they may set some serial numbers. They may set some serial numbers. They may create some serial numbers for the product what they manufactured. They can take the decision like which serial number is required. Accordingly, they'll be just predefined what are the number they assign, that would be the serial number. Whenever they sell the item, if something wrong with that item, the customers can refer with that, they can contact back to this organization. Dynamic number generation. Say for example, organization is buying and selling. When they are buying, whatever the number is there on the product as a serial number, the same need to be followed. That organization will come to know what is the serial number when they are receiving. So that could be the case where they can use. And when you talk about sales order entry and all, this is also case where organization can create the serial number. Maybe they are manufacturing the products and products are ready with them from their manufacturing unit. For those, they can generate the predefined serial numbers, or else they can generate their own serial numbers when they are doing the sales activity or picking activity, sales order creation time or picking time. So they can decide on which number they want to allocate to which item quantity, they can decide. Or else they are purchasing the products. When they are purchasing the product, whatever the serial number they get for the item from the supplier, that serial number can be different. Since they are finally selling to that end customers, if the same organization is going to take the responsibility of providing the service for those items and etc., in that case the organization who are selling to the end customers, that organization also can maintain the separate serial number instead of the actual serial number which they are getting from the core actual vendor from whom they are buying. So depending on the scenarios, so organization will choose at what point of time they want to generate the serial number. So the products are owned by them, or else they are remarketing, there is no serial number prior to that on the products. So in that case, they may generate the predefined serial numbers that they can just map with the item quantities. And if there is some case, they have to follow the serial number which is already there on the products at the time of purchasing. So the same, whatever the serial number already is there, that same number if they want to maintain in the system. So dynamic number generation at the time of receipt creation. So that means they can enter, or else by following that, depending on the scenario, the particular range of numbers they can enter create automatically. The same logic, same case is applicable for reality, or else manually they can enter, or else these are the different scenarios. So to generate the serial number, at what point of time the serial number need to be allocated for specific item quantity, so that organization can take the decision. And these are the different options we have in the application to work with that. Fine. So now we'll see within the application how we can generate the serial numbers. Okay. First we'll see how to generate predefined serial number. Okay, predefined serial number, how to generate, we'll see. So if you want to generate the serial number, we have to do the relevant configuration within the application. First of all, you want to implement the serial number concept for which inventory organization. For that inventory organization level, you have to specify as we are going to generate the serial numbers for the items which are associated to this inventory organization. Fine. So say set serial numbering for inventory organization. Okay, we have to set that serial number option for that inventory organization. After that, okay, say we are going to set this serial numbering for inventory called as dollars. Within the dollars inventory, you may maintain the different items stock you may maintain within the dollars inventory, but you may need or may not need the serial number for all the items. So that is the reason for which items this serial number is required. You have to go and set this serial number specification for that item. Again, at what point of time system has to generate the serial number, that you have to set at item level only. Okay, this uniqueness and all you can set at inventory organization level, and but the number generation for which item serial number is creation is applicable and at what point of time it has to happen, that you can set only item level. You can say set serial numbering for item, means at what point of time it has to be generated, you have to set it up. After setting this, since we are going to create the predefined serial numbers, after completing these setups, by selecting item, for which item we require predefined serial numbers, those we have to generate. Say create, or else say generate predefined serial numbers for specific item, for which item which predefined serial numbers are required, we have to generate. Once we generate, for testing purpose we can go and perform any one of the inventory transaction. We'll go on to perform the miscellaneous receipt, because purchasing is not ready with the setups. Otherwise, ideally we can go and create the GRN, standard receipt, but now no option we have, since we completed only inventory setups, so we can perform the miscellaneous receipt. But again, when we are working on this P2P cycle, so requisition, purchase orders and receipt process also will come across the relevant functionality we'll be going through, we'll be just addressing these points also, which we are directly testing within the inventory only, without any integration or process flows. So once these are the setups, once you're done with the setups, we can test this serial number usage by creating the miscellaneous receipt. Create miscellaneous receipt to test the serial number assignment, because here just will be assigning, since we are going to create before we receive the material, we are predefining, so all the numbers would be readily available. You can start associating for which quantity, okay, which unit, which number is required. Done. Fine. Now we're going to specify for which inventory organization wants to use this serial number. Go to instance, go to our inventory organization. We have two actual inventory organizations, are called child organizations. Okay, one is Dallas, other one is Austin. Right, we'll go to Dallas inventory organization. So this is our project. Search for inventory organization. Search for inventory organization. You can go with any path. Click on manage inventory organizations. Click on go to task icon. find our inventory. Search. So select dollars inventory. Select dollars inventory and click on manage organization parameters. So we have to select tab called as large serial number and packing unit. This here is the serial number. So as a part of this tab you can find it. Just click on select the tab, and we want to set serial numbering. Here we have options. Serial number generation. Okay, serial number generation. So these are the different options we have. We discussed what is the meaning of each option, which you could see here. The uniqueness, to define the uniqueness across organizations or within the inventory, or within the inventory items, or within the inventory, or combination of that model and inventory items. You can just choose any one of the option for your testing purpose. You can go with within the inventory organization, or else you have two inventory organizations. We assign the same item to two inventory organizations, so you want to maintain the uniqueness across those two. So in that case we may set unique across the organizations. And generation at generation level, you want to generate the numbering organization level. That means you want to set the number here itself, you want to set the number item level. Okay, so like what should be the prefix and from where number should start, all the specifications where you want to give, organization level you want to give or item level you want to give. Those are the two options we have. If you select organization level, system will make this field as a mandatory to provide the number here itself. If you are planning to set serial number generation by following the number which you provide at organization level, yes, you have to give the number, this number only. Whatever the number you specify, from that number it will start running the numbering for the items. And if you want to set the item level, I don't want to set the organization level, because I want to use the different serial numbers which would be unique only across the organization. For each item I want to use the different number. In that case I have to select item level. At item level, if I select item level, you don't need to set organization level. Now we are at organization level, it will become optional. You can notice here the star mark, it is representing the star mark. Okay, with the star mark you can understand this is a mandatory. Here it's star mark. Since organization level is selected, we are in the organization parameters window. Here itself you have to specify the number. If you have a plan of setting the serial number generation, the sequence from where it has to start, what prefix it has to take before for the numbering and all, that you may set at item level. So here it will become optional, completely optional, nothing you have to specify. So we'll set at item level. Okay, item level you can specify. So done. Here you don't need to give any prefix and all, nothing is required. So what you have to do is, so organization level, select the uniqueness at what level, and again number you want to give in the organization level, the same number system has to follow for the items. Means you can select organization level, and you can just, system will make it option mandatory to provide, otherwise select at item level, otherwise user defined. You don't want to set at organization level or item level. Whenever you want to generate the number, user can have option to select, to provide the preferable number, whatever the number they want to give as serial number at the time of receiving, or different triggering points we discussed, right, when serial number need to be generated or associated. So in those cases user can provide any desired number. Okay, this is not at all preferred, maybe some exceptional cases organization may do it, or else ideally we can just set this, but still we have a predefined and other options. So let's go with this item level generation. Okay, item level we can specify what is our desired serial number from where system has to start generating the numbers. Done. So give the specification, say save and close. Now we are setting serial number applicability for this inventory organization. Within this inventory organization there may be a number of items. for which items this serial number should be applicable, and from what number it has to start triggering the number generation that we have to set. So we specified for organization. Now we'll go to the item. Okay, we'll go to the items. So better you create the item. Otherwise, if you want to use the serial numbers and all for existing items, system will have a validation. The item, any pending transactions are there or not, it will verify. If you have pending transaction related with that item, whatever you create a transaction, it won't accept to use. Better just for this testing purpose, we'll create separate item so that we won't be having any confusion. Again, you need to start working on what is the pending transaction and all. That is separate concept. We'll be working on it. But to test this functionality, again, we don't need to look into that aspect. So simply we'll go and create the separate item and we'll test this functionality. Okay, so look for task called as, where is our task? PIM. Yep. Product information management. Go to product information management to define new item, so that for that item we'll set this serial number generation. Go to task list, so create item. Okay, select any one of the template. Say finished boot, not required. Yep. Say okay. I'll give the name as already we have MacBook item. I'll say MacBook Air. Set required and mandatory parameters. Anyway, most of the parameter system is defaulting from the template itself. Now go to item associations to assign this item to our child organization, that is dollars. Search for inventory organizations, assign this item to dollars inventory. The reason is for dollars inventory only the serial number generation we enabled. Done. Okay, say save and close. Say apply. Now go to item management, manage items. So find the item. Our item is, we are going to search with the description. MacBook Air. Search. So the item is defined in the item master associated with the child organization. So now what we have to do is, when we are going to set these parameters, serial number related parameters for this item, you have to choose the item which is associated with your child organization. If you set those serial number generation, all the options which with the assignment association called as item master, no use at all. Reality will be receiving the material with which item has association with the dollars. So against your child organization, click on item. Just click on item which is associated with your child inventory. Now go to specifications. Okay, if you complete these setups for your item master, okay, for your item master level, it doesn't work. Okay, go to inventory parameters. Here you have a serial number. By default, serial number generation is not applicable for this item by default. Now you can specify. So what we planned, first we'll test predefined serial number generation. Give the specification. So if you want to create predefined serial number for this item, so what should be the prefix and what should be the running sequence for this item? So we'll give the serial number prefix as 8. This is a MacBook Air product. Write uppercase. Starting number 1. That's all. This is how I'm just setting the numbering. How the system will create the predefined serial numbers like A1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. So save and close. So we specified item level. So how we want to generate the numbering, and that is predefined. When it is predefined, when system has to generate automatically, we have to give some inputs. What should be the prefix and what should be the running sequence number? We have to address those we given. Now we have to generate predefined serial numbers by following the specifications whatever we given at item level. We'll go and do it. Go to ESS job page. Go to ESS job page. Click on navigator. Under tools we have a schedule process which will take us to ESS job page, enterprise scheduler service job page, which is equal to SRS window in EBS. Click on search new process, click on schedule new process. So what we want to do, we want to generate the serial number. Okay, there is one job called as generate serial number. Search for the job. Search for generate serial number job. Click on search. Generate serial number. Now it will ask for parameters. Okay, we'll see that. Create serial number for inventory items. Yes, for inventory item we want to create predefined serial numbers. Now it will ask for the parameters for which organizations, again within that organization, for which item you want to generate serial number, for how much quantity, how many serial numbers you want to generate. Each serial number we assign to only one quantity, so that they're given as a quantity. How many serial numbers you want to generate. Select our inventory organization, for which inventory organization serial number is enabled, that is dollars, and for which item within the dollars, which item is associated with the dollars within the, there may be a number of items which are associated, but for which item the serial number option is set, that you can select. So instead of searching with the number and all, what you can do is item name or number, you can go with option called as is not blank. That means item, which item name number is not blank, it has to display that item. That means all it will display. Click on search. Within this inventory organization, okay, ERPT dollars, we have a number of items, but system is displaying only one item. The reason, we are dealing with the process called a generate serial number. What this will do is, for which item serial number option is set as a predefined, those items only it will display. We have few other items also, it's not displaying even if you search for all the items. So for which items the serial number generation is applicable, that to predefined number, that only system is showing. For this we specify, it is showing. Select. So how much quantity, how many serial numbers you want to generate. Each serial number you can assign to one quantity. So say 10 quantity is enough for us. 10 serial numbers you want to generate. Okay, 10 serial numbers you want to generate. Here the specification says submit. So now how it will generate the number? It will look at this item level. What is the prefix? 8. What should be the starting number? 1. With that combination it will create 10 serial numbers. Click on submit. Say okay. Refresh. Okay, it will generate, it will create the output file also if you want to see. But anyway, directly we can, if you want to see the output file, select the job and scroll little down. Here log on to output file. So I'm clicking on this, it's showing us one more. Go with the log file, or just go with this text file txt. Open this. So it's saying just 10, total 10, and the numbers generated. Okay, total 10. Serial number start with a air1, and serial number it went up to this. Okay, so this is how this is starting number, starting serial number, ending serial number. It has to create one more also. It is showing up to 9. That means it is taking that, I mean the functionality how they given and how it is working is, it is taking the given starting number, there we given 1 at the item level, but reality the function is working last user number. Okay, last user number, even if it is used, it has to start from the 2, but it's not taking, it is taking just 9 only, 1 it is not generating. We'll see that. Ideally it has to generate 10, since we given here element as a 10 for quantity. We'll go to see that. No issues. Okay, done, we generated. Now what we can do is, we'll create the miscellaneous receipt. At the time of miscellaneous receipt creation, system will display all those predefined serial numbers, and you can associate how you require. Go to miscellaneous receipt creation task. Now we have to navigate to inventory management. Just click on inventory management task. Go to task list. Say create miscellaneous transaction. Select transaction type as miscellaneous receipt. Add transaction lines. Okay, choose the item for which item this serial number is applicable. For only one item serial number is applicable. Search with ERP. That is item generation. We given the rule should start with ERP. So this is item ERP 1010 MacBook Air. Say okay. Now you are receiving the material into which sub inventory, you can specify here. For this item serial number is applicable, right? What we are receiving, which sub inventory we are receiving into MacBook sub inventory. So how much quantity we are receiving? 5 quantity. For 5 quantity, for each quantity separate serial number need to be assigned. So here you can see from serial number. So whatever we created, those you can see. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to, it has to create 10 as per the definition what we did. So 5 we given 5 quantity. That means if I select 1, from 1 to 5 it automatically will allocate. One to 5 it will take. So 8, 1 to 8, 5 taken. Better you can search for existing code combination. Choose any one of the code combination just to complete this transaction creation. Done. This is how just you can choose from here. Okay. We'll just let me add one more line. We'll see how we can manage the same. 1010, right? We're taking into same sub inventory few more quantity. Say I want to take 3 quantity. Pick the same account, copy and paste. Now I don't want to select the serial number from here. Okay, if I want to just select, you can now see. If I go here, I could see the serial numbers which are remaining. That means one serial number you can assign one time only. Okay, that is the uniqueness you have to maintain that. Now instead of selecting from here, I'll go with the tab called as lot and serial number. Even we have a separate concept called as lot control, that also we can manage with this tab only, but now we are going for serial number assignment. Just click on this tab, record lots and serial numbers. Click on this. From here you can assign. From here we can assign based on the range, whatever just now we selected similar option, or else individual. I'll go with the individual selection. How much quantity? 3 quantity. Click on add one quantity with serial number. I want to assign this number. Click on add. That means I don't want to go in the sequence. I want to jump some serial number and I want to assign different one. In that case, we may go with individual. Reality, if you predefine, not required. Maybe there are some cases where you generated serial numbers and something got damaged, some product, etc. If you come across with scenarios, this is how, without following the sequence, what are the predefined serial numbers you have, you can assign. For the one quantity, again we have one more quantity. For 2 quantities we assign, and one more quantity. Only these 2 are left. I'll assign 8. 7 I don't want to assign. The serial number I don't want to assign to any item. You can assign. And again, if the item, whatever the item quantity you are receiving, so when you are receiving, if there is some serial number is applicable, if you want to use for internal purpose or any other purpose, that you can assign, that you can specify as a supplier serial number. When you buy the product from supplier, so if you think that serial number is important, the same serial number you can enter here, or else the same serial number. I mean, maybe just for reference purpose, when there is a need of interacting with the supplier, if there is, if supplier is looking for information like the serial number specification, in that case we can maintain that serial number in our books that you can enter here for each item. So this is how you can assign separately, or else from here also if you want to select the range, done. Same as the similar line, select range. Will be system will go in the sequence only. 3 quantity we have. It will take from 6 to 9. I'll select 6. Automatic will take 3 from here. 6 to 8. 6, 7, 8. So this is how just you can predefine the serial numbers whenever you receive the item, and whenever you are dealing with the different cases, whenever you want to, at what point of time you want to assign the serial number, accordingly you can assign. Done. Now we're done with this. Now we'll see the dynamic number generation. Okay, dynamic number generation, where we specified this predefined serial number item level. Now let's go to the same item. We'll change this predefined serial number to dynamic entry. Go to our item. Sorry, this is inventory management. Go to item management. product information management. Let's find the item for which item we specified predefined number generation usage. Manage items. The item number is ERP 1010. So the same item is associated with the two organizations, item master and child dollars. We have to select child record only. Click on item number. Go to item specifications. Parameters. And here we are changing the rule. Dynamic entry at item at inventory receipt. Now this information is not required. Okay, that means you can enter dynamic number, any number you can enter. But if you provide number here, it will auto generate also. We'll see. First we'll go with this option. I just selected dynamic entry at inventory receipt. We have all setups. Organization level already done. Item level, just the parameter we change how we require. Now we can go and create the item. Now we can go and create the receipt to test this functionality. Go to inventory management. Create miscellaneous transaction. Select transaction type as a miscellaneous receipt. Miscellaneous receipt. Will go with the receipt. Click on add lines. Item is ERP 1010. Want to receive into which sub inventory? MacBook. How much quantity? Want to receive 10 quantity. So system is showing the dynamic field. So earlier for this item, the serial number generation rule is predefined. That is the reason we predefined. The predefined numbers only system was allowing us to select. So earlier there was drop down option. Now we are using the rule called as dynamic entry for the same item. We change the rule. So now you can enter the number here. If I give the number as 100, from 100 it will count 10 numbers and it will assign as a 2 serial number automatically. Okay. First we'll provide this account and we'll discuss few more points. Click on search. Just pick any one of the code combination. Just we are testing. System won't stop us by validating the constant. So now you can enter. Only the option is you have to enter. The reason what we did is this item level we set the option only dynamic entry. Along with the dynamic entry, if you can specify number should start from where, then if you click on generate serial number, it will generate. Now I will click on generate, but we didn't specify any number. Okay, you cannot generate the serial number because the starting serial number is not defined. Item level we didn't give any starting number. That is the reason system is not able to generate. If you provide the number over there, it will generate automatically. So since we didn't specify, here I'm just giving this is starting number 10 quantity, it will allocate up to 10. just tab out, it will create two serial number 1 to 10. Okay, 1001 to 1010 it created. So this is a manual you have to enter. You don't want to enter manually. Dynamically system has to create without entering any starting number. If that is your requirement, what you can do is go to item. Let me open different tab. Go to same item. So we given the rule as dynamic entry at receipt, but we didn't specify any starting number. So system will ask us every time to enter the number, starting number. Based on that, it will take the two number, ending number for based on the quantity. We don't want to do in that way. So system has to generate automatically whenever you click on generate. So if that is your requirement, what you can do is item level you provide starting number, but don't give any prefix. Okay, if you give prefix again it doesn't work. Here dynamic generation number specification at item level means the prefix and all you can give only for the purpose of predefined number generation. Okay, here give what should be the starting number. Starting number is this. This is starting number. Don't give any prefix. Again, if you give prefix for dynamic entry at receipt, inventory receipt, only we have to provide number. If you provide prefix, again this functionality doesn't work. Just it look for only starting number. If you give prefix, it will get confused. That's how you don't have functionality. Just give the number. Now go to the transaction creation. So create miscellaneous transaction. Say miscellaneous receipt. Click on line, add line, transaction line. Item is ERP1010. Provide required information to create the transaction. How much quantity? 25 we are receiving. Search. Select and say OK. If you want to enter from serial number, you can enter. It will generate two serial number, but now it's not required. Already we created rule. We taken the decision from which number system what should be the starting serial number at the time of dynamic number generation for the receipt. It could be miscellaneous receipt or actual receipt or anything. So what should be the number we specified? So because of that reason, if you click on generate serial number range, so it will look at the transaction level, what is the number we given, accordingly it will start generating. Just click on generate serial number range. It will generated from this 1 to 25. So this is how just you can generate the serial number. And now what are the serial numbers you generated if you want to see for the items? Okay, here you can go with the manage serial numbers. Pick the item. Select item. Search. So these are the different serial numbers we associate with the different quantity. How much quantity we have, if you want to see, like we can go to the on hand quantity. From that on hand quantity also you'll be able to see the serial numbers which are associated with the specific item. Search. So item is, this is item 1010. Okay, ERP 1010. How much on hand quantity is available? 43. For 43 quantity, we have 43 serial numbers. Hence, for each quantity will be identified with uniqueness. So this item got selected ERP 1001. So for that serial number details, no, because for this item serial number is not applicable. Select this item for which item serial number is applicable. So expand it. Again, for which organization also system will verify. One second. Yep. For this 43, here you can just click on serial number details. You can see for those 43 quantity, 43 serial numbers. Here all these serial numbers. We tested with the different numbers, predefined and dynamic entry, automatic creation, manual entries, right? All this you could see. That. So we tested two options. So predefined serial number and dynamic number. And sales order creation, yes, we'll see when you are creating the sales order, when you are working on order management, we'll see this also as a part of that sales order execution picking process we will be testing. So we tested these will be just implementing. We'll see how it works at the time of OEM. When you are working on order management process, we'll test those two other options which are possible. In what, I mean, those two options, at what point of time we can generate the serial number, we'll test and we'll see that. So that's all about serial number generation. Okay. Here, this is what we tested. Serial controller, serial number, anything you can call serial number. We're done with this. Okay. In tomorrow's session, we'll pick any one of the other topic from these inventory controls. After completing inventory controls, we'll go with the inventory counting methods or inventory planning methods. After that, we'll go through few other inventory transactions. So once we're done with that, we can start with the purchasing application. So any questions on today's session, please? Any questions?
You mentioned the predefined serial number category. So already we should generate the serial number. Then we'll do some transaction. We have to use it. That is correct.
Correct. That's all.
Yeah. Suppose I generated for predefined only for 10 quantity, but while creating the transaction, I'm using 15 or 20. In this case, serial number is not available for remaining.
Won't accept.
Yeah.
Won't accept. For item you enable serial number, it will the field you could see as optional. It is a mandatory, conditionally mandatory. So if you are receiving 10 quantity, only for that quantity only, like a system will allow you to assign the serial number and you can complete the transaction. So at least at the time of receiving, you'll come to know, right, when you are assigning or you don't have that enough serial numbers which are defined, then ideally we stop that transaction creation. We'll just go back
to increase the quantity.
Generate and we'll proceed. That's how we'll do. So since we have a 10 quantity and you have only 4 serial numbers, you cannot allocate.
Yes.
So that's how it works.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lakshman, let's say I am Dell and I am receiving the products from my supplier.
Yes.
So when I receive the products from my supplier and he has enabled serial generation so that I can easily track my account, how that communication happens, like these are the serial numbers the supplier is sending and I have to receive in Dell. Okay.
See, ideally, where you find the serial number on the product? If you look at your
it will be on that packing.
No, one second.
It will be on the pack.
No. If you look at the phone or if you look at your laptop or anything, any product, wherever the logic is applicable, you could see that. Apart from that, you will be finding in the documents which you get from your supplier. You'll refer the documents and you'll write. Every item you cannot physically, you don't go and verify, right? So supplier will be giving the document. Within that, these are the items, this much quantity. For the 1,000 quantity, there are 1,000 serial numbers which are associated with the 1,000 quantity. That's how they'll be giving. If you want to maintain that numbering for reference, but or else that is the one which all the ways you people has to deal. Say for example, you are selling the iPhones. You are selling the iPhones. You purchased 100 iPhones from Apple or from dealer. When dealer receive that 1,000 iPhones, the serial number is they'll get from the Apple, right? They have to enter in their system. Again, if you are going to maintain the same serial, the iPhones in your inventory, so you have to follow the same serial number. That is the one ultimately the customer has to refer when they go to service center. Okay, that's how that is carry forward. Or else you are buying some product and you are assembling or you are doing something on top of it. In that case, the final finished good is going to be have a different product. In that case, the serial numbers what you get from the supplier that you may use for internal purpose in the assembling process, some other activity what you do as a part of shop floor activity or other activity. If there is some issue for that reason, you may just contact the supplier. That may be for internal. Finally, when you are going to sell that product, you may build one service serial number for that. So if there is some issue in the future, you may help to the customer, or else with whom you engage to help the customers, they will come into the picture by referring the same serial numbers. It totally depends. Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions here, please?
Lakshman, actually at the time of receipt, there is an additional field, supplier serial number is also here.
Yes.
And this is an additional features.
Yes, just
in fusion.
Additional information. Anywhere you can type. They given direct field, or else if that is your requirement, what you do, you can enable the DFF, right? It's not a great feature. It's just additional field tracking they given. That's all. Okay, you can track additional input also value. That's all. If Oracle is not giving, if you want to capture, what you can do, you can enable a number of fields through DFF. You can keep tracking. Since Oracle given, that is standard, you don't need to do that additional task in build that is available.